through my flesh is a spirit of trouble. Under moonlit sky, I'm desperate to feel more alive.
Hey everyone, what is going on? My name is Barnabas Maximus. Today, I want to do a video about the Trickster. If you're new to this franchise, or if you've been living under a rock, you probably haven't heard of him. This killer was famous before he even came out. He has probably put more people on the path of unrighteousness and simpiness than Shirtless David. He's an amazing killer aesthetically, and any killer that can make me look into a culture that I've never thought about looking into before has something really special going on for him. His choice of style, his absolute awesome aesthetic, and his colorful backstory makes him the perfect killer for anybody to get interested in. Whether that be a new killer that may have found him because they thought he was incredibly attractive, or a seasoned veteran that was just wanting something to shake up the game a little bit. To make things even more awesome, Behavior made an amazing trailer for him, music and all. This trailer brought in a lot of new people. People from all kinds of walks of life. People who may have not been experienced in Dead by Daylight, or the asymmetrical horror genre in general. It almost seems cultish, with the massive amount of people that are joining based on him. I say cultish as in Dead by Daylight is not cultish in itself, because it really is. The following is crazy. And just for you new people, I'm glad you're here. Queue times are not 40 minutes anymore. I can actually enjoy the game now. What he didn't lack in style, he lacked in power. Unfortunately, he was a little underwhelming when he first came out. It seemed like the devs had something kind of neat going on for him, but they started realizing that they had to make some changes. Everybody in the community was happy that he was getting some changes until they saw what the changes actually were. With that being said, when he was finally released on the live servers, he seemed even weaker than he was in the PTB, partially due to the rework of his main event ability. But let's talk about why he doesn't have the pressure that he needs to be a good killer. Most killers that have 110% movement speed have a really powerful ability that backs it up. When we think about Nurse, who can just ignore walls and blink through them and hit the survivors, then you have Hag, who can teleport to any one of her traps and cause an extreme map pressure. And then you have the Spirit, who wins by having great headphones. These killers all have really powerful abilities that make up for their speed. Trickster, however, seems to have to work harder for his power to even be relevant. What never made much sense is the fact that the entity said, here you go, you can come into our realm. Here's an absolute insane amount of throwing knives. But you also have the recoil of a light machine gun. Have fun with that. All jokes aside, Behavior does plan on greatly reducing his recoil. Whatever greatly means, I'm all for it. I felt that the recoil was way too much. I don't think that every time you throw a knife, you should have to jolt upwards. I also believe that the spread of his throwing knives were a little too extreme. It didn't make sense in a game that's not a first-person shooter to have these kind of mechanics. Personally, we actually have a first-person shooter killer with Deathslinger doesn't face the challenges and the adversities that, for some reason, the Trickster does. Now, I do know that Behavior is planning on changing this in the very next bug fix, or the next patch, if you will. The only thing that I think Behavior could do better, other than the changes that they have made, is improve the way that Main Event works. Main Event is a neat power with a lot of oppression. However, it has the weirdest drawback. Why do you have to use this ability in a short time period? Why can't you just bank the ability and use it for when you need it? It never made much sense, because sometimes what would happen is you would down a survivor with the knife and then you would have main ability. And then as it's cycling through, you don't ever get to use it. Or if you use it, you have to run around like a madman chucking knives at the speed of God knows what to try to catch a survivor. I think that having it be a power that is activatable, similar to like Spirit, or similar to any other killer that can just use it at will whenever they want, would be great. It would mean that you could bank that ability and you could use it when it's opportune for you. I think that would even solve his issue where he doesn't do well in very crowded, tall wall maps. The Trickster doesn't do a good job in maps like Leary's Memorial Institute, or the Game Firm, or even Hawkins for that matter. There's too many different things you could hide behind. It's not to say that he's actually strong in certain maps. Some maps I noticed are Ormond, Midwich, and some of the farm maps. Mainly because you have a clear line of sight on the survivor and there's not anything that they can do. Sometimes playing as survivor on these maps can seem a little unfair, so I guess I understand why he can't be strong in both sides of the maps. However, I do grow weary of playing a projectile killer on maps that you just can't make them work on. As a side note, I will say that his ability to stop a survivor from escaping an exit gate with his knives is utterly hilarious. If you have a survivor teabagging at a gate, try it out. With this being said, the Trickster has a lot going for him as far as storyline and aesthetic. I think that he's one of the best made killers that Behavior has released in a long time, and I definitely hope that these changes make him more fun to play. After seeing the release of the twins, I'm glad that the devs actually took the time to focus on more important things. One of the things I'm happy about is that they didn't rush a map and they didn't rush a DLC. I feel like they even delayed it a week. We all know what happened with the twins, and it's sad to see them in the state that they're in even now. I don't think they're that fun of a killer, and I think that this killer makes up for that. If you guys made it this far into the video, it either means you have something to say to me, or that you like the content that I'm providing at the moment. And I do appreciate it. If you do want to see more commentaries on maybe some killers and some buffs that they need, or any changes that come out, leave a comment down below. And subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content. I will be uploading about 3 videos a week, with at least one of them being a short. For now, please enjoy more of this Trickster gameplay. You'll see some of the weaknesses and some of the frustrations that will come towards the end. If you can't already tell, I'm going for my Adept, and I'm about to be robbed of it. Have fun, and I hope to survive with you later.
그래 이거야.
Oh, that's some defeat right there. Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me?